All right, today we're diving into IV drip therapy. You've probably heard about it, right? It's this incredible method for really boosting your energy, cutting down your recovery time, and just supercharging your immune system. How? Well, it sends all those essential nutrients directly into your bloodstream, exactly where your body can use them, like right now. So let's get into it. You know the feeling. We've all had that morning. Your head's pounding, your body just feels heavy, and you are completely drained before you've even had your coffee. So what do? You chug some water, you pop a few vitamins, and you just hope something kicks in. But most of the time, you're just waiting, and not much really changes.
So what's the deal? Why doesn't that stuff work faster? Well, the bottleneck is actually our digestive system. Look, when your body is stressed out, whether it's from being dehydrated, sick, or just plain exhausted, it needs help, and it needs it fast. It just doesn't have time to wait for the slow, scenic route that is our gut.
And that brings us to this really important scientific idea, the bioavailability gap. Just think about it this way. Whatever you swallow isn't what your body actually gets to use. Your digestive system is kind of like a bouncer at a club. It's filtering things out, breaking things down. And this creates a huge gap between the nutrients you take and what your cells can actually absorb and use. Okay, so this lays it out perfectly. Look at the two very different paths a nutrient can take. An oral supplement has to go on this epic, difficult journey, right? It's got to survive your stomach acid, get processed by the liver, and then maybe get slowly absorbed. But IV therapy, it just bypasses all of that. The source material had a great way of putting it. It's the difference between sending a message by Pony Express versus sending it through a fiber optic cable. One is just instant. And this chart, wow, this really drives the point home. When you take a pill, you're lucky if even 20% of that dose is still active by the time it gets into your bloodstream. The other 80%, it just gets lost along the way. Now, look at IV therapy, 100% absorption. The difference isn't just big, it's absolutely massive. So the solution here is getting to that 100% bioavailability. And that is the real game changer. When you deliver vitamins, minerals, and all that good stuff directly into your circulatory system, you're basically taking out all the guesswork. Your body gets the full, powerful dose it needs right when it needs it most. No waiting, no waste. And here's the most important part. It's not just about getting these nutrients into your body. It's about getting them into your cells. Your cells are like these little factories, right? They're where energy gets made, where tissues get repaired, where your immune system gets its marching orders. And sending nutrients straight to the bloodstream is like building an express lane directly to those factories. Let's just take vitamin C as an example. When you take it in a pill, your gut literally hits a wall. It just stops absorbing it after a certain point. But with an IV, you can get the concentration of vitamin C in your blood up to 50 or even 100 times higher. And that massive concentration is what lets the vitamin C just flood into your cells and do its job like it's supposed to. Okay, so now that we get how this cellular delivery works, let's talk about something we all want more of: energy. You know, feeling tired all the time isn't just about not getting enough sleep. A lot of the time, it's a full-blown crisis happening at the cellular level. Your body's engine is basically running on empty. So inside your cells, you have these tiny power plants called mitochondria. And just like any power plant, they need specific fuel to run well. B vitamins, for instance, are basically the spark plugs for your energy production. And then you've got amino acids like taurine, which help with both physical and mental endurance. And here's the key. This isn't a fake energy boost like you get from caffeine. This is true restoration. You're giving your body the raw materials to make its own sustainable energy. And you know, this whole idea of direct cellular delivery, it doesn't stop with energy. It completely redefines how we think about immunity and recovery. I mean, whether you're trying to bounce back from a killer workout, a crazy week at work, or you're fighting off a cold, the goal is always the same, right? You've got to get those repair agents and immune-boosting troops to the front lines fast. So let's break it down. For muscle repair, you need amino acids like glutamine and arginine. To get your immune system ready for a fight, vitamin C and zinc are absolutely essential for arming your white blood cells. And for detox, you need glutathione. People call it the master antioxidant for a reason. It's amazing for neutralizing damage in your cells, but it's famously difficult to absorb when you take it by mouth, which makes IV the absolute best way to get your levels up. Now, I know what some of you are probably thinking right now. There's this common skeptical argument, right? That you're just paying for expensive urine and that your body's just going to get rid of whatever it doesn't use. It's a fair point. So let's talk about it.
The scientific reason that's not quite right comes down to this idea of a cellular loading dose. Okay, imagine trying to fill up a dry sponge, one drop at a time. It's not very effective, right? Now imagine soaking that sponge in a whole bucket of water. That's what IV therapy does. By jacking up the nutrient levels in your bloodstream way higher than you could ever get with a pill, you create this pressure that basically forces those nutrients into your depleted cells. This loading process fills up your cellular gas tanks, and the benefits can stick around for days, sometimes even weeks.
So what is the experience actually like? I think a lot of us hear IV and we picture a cold, stressful hospital room. But the whole wellness IV experience is designed to be the complete opposite of that. It's actually meant to be a comfortable, even relaxing process. The whole thing is really straightforward. You start with a consultation so they can mix up a blend that's perfect for your goals. Then you just kick back in a comfy chair while the infusion happens, which usually takes about 45 to 60 minutes. After that, you're done. You can get right back to your day. There is zero downtime, just that immediate feeling of being refreshed and revitalized. And that kind of leads to the last thing I want you to think about. So many of us walk around feeling just fine, We accept being a little tired, a little foggy, as just our normal. But what if that normal you're feeling is actually a state of being chronically depleted? It's a wild question to ask yourself. What would your new normal feel like if your cells were actually, truly 100% fueled up?